What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna make this in Blender, and before we start I should mention that I myself learned this beautiful animation by this guy. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, just make sure to check his channel and videos. They're really amazing and useful for you. Okay, now we're in Blender, and the first thing we do is just delete the default cube by pressing X and delete. And by pressing Shift A, just add a plane here, and let's zoom in a little bit and tab in to enter the edit mode, and press M and at center to merge all of the vertices of one center. And now in this step I'm gonna extrude it in Z axis. Then for extruding it, just press E and Z to limit it to Z axis or Z axis. And I'm gonna extrude it like this and press tab again to come back to object mode. And in modifiers menu or tab, just add a skin modifier to our leg. This is gonna our leg, the leg of a spider here. Then again press tab to enter to edit mode, and by pressing Alt Z, or from here you can enable and disable X-ray mode, and I'm going to enable X-ray mode to see our vertices correctly. Now select this vertex or vertex here, and by clicking or pressing Ctrl A, let's scale it down a little bit and select the other one, and again by pressing Ctrl A, scale this one a little up. That's okay. And by pressing A, let's select all the vertices here, and I'm gonna subdivide it by right click and subdivide here. And from this panel we should change the subdivide level or number of cuts to 2. And as you see here, we have now 1 cut here, but when you change it to 2, we have 2 cuts here, and now we have 4 vertices here, and we can change any changes here, and that's very powerful rig. Now we already have a powerful rig here, but in the case of animated we should add an armchair to this one, and we can do it just by clicking here, create armchair on skin modifier, and it's disabled. Why? Because we are in edit mode. For making it enable, you should come back to object mode by pressing tab again. Now we're in object mode, and here you can press create armchair, and now as you see we have an armchair for our body. And from here you can change the mode to pose mode, and by clicking one of them and just rotate it or grab it here and there, now you see that we have a powerful rig here that helps me a lot. And also we can use another technique for this one. Choose the last bone here, and from pose and inverse kinematics, and add IK to bone and to new empty object. And now if you see, as you see, we have an empty object here that controls our bone. You should come to object mode here and click on empty object and just grab it and move it. And as you see, we have a strong animation here. We have a strong rigging, and it's so powerful and very perfect for us. Then right click to cancel it, and I'm going to disable the X-ray mode from here, or by pressing Alt Z, I'm going to disable it, and press 1 to go to orthographic view, orthographic front view, and let's move it a little bit, and I'm going to test it, and it's so powerful and soft animation. So by selecting this armchair and our body, select 2 of them and just move it. You can move it here, from here too, but as you see, its area is limited, it's limited to this area. But because we want our leg to animate in this area, we should fix it. And how we should fix it? It's so simple. we should just press R and rotate it in 45 degrees. So press R and minus 45, and that will correct and fix our bone here. And as you see, it's gonna so softer than before, and it's so suitable for us. So I'm gonna leave it here. This is our leg here, and let's add the body to our character or our creature. Press Shift A, and from mesh add a cube for our body. By pressing G and Z, just grab it a little bit in Z axis, and again S and Z, skeleton Z axis. That will be fine for us. Okay, or we can scale it a little more. That's good. Now we have a body. It's simple and so low poly body for us, and we can use it here to animate it, to move our leg. And for making it so useful, so powerful, just click it here and here, or click both leg and armchair, and then press body and press Ctrl P to parent it to our body. And if you see, if we move body, the whole objects will be moved with our body, and it's so useful for us, and we'll use it later here. So it's a little strange here. We should add a connect here between leg and our body, and for this I'm gonna add a sphere here. By pressing Shift A and mesh part, you should add a UV sphere or anything you like, and just right click on it and press Shade Smooth. That will smooth our UV sphere. So let's move it to position and scale it a little bit. I think that will be okay. That's going to be fine. That's good. Now press this sphere and then body, and press Ctrl P to parent it to the body too. Now all of these objects are parented to body except this empty object here. Now if you move body, all of them will be moved with our body. And I'm going to scale it a little bit. That's good. Now we want to add a circle here, or we want to add a path. In the case of following our leg, for example, we want our leg follow this walking path here, and it will make things a lot easier for us. To do that, just press Shift A, and in curve menu, let's select circle here, and now we have a circle bezier here. Now press Tab to go to edit mode, and RX90. We rotated 90 degrees in Z axis, then press G and X to bring it here, just where our leg is it, and click our empty bottom here, and from constraints, object constraints, add a follow path constraint to that. And in target bar, you should click on this eyedropper tool and select our circle. And don't panic by this, it's normal because our empty object has its locations has been changed here. If you see here, to correct it, just click Alt and G to reset the location. And as you see here, all of our locations X, Y, Z, all of them change to 0. Then if we change its offset here, you see that it's following our circle, our Bezier circle, and it's so powerful tool for us to animate it, and that's so good. Now let's drag it a little up here, the timeline, and I want to animate it from the 10th frame here. Now we are in frame 0. Sorry, we are in our offset is 0 here. Now click in here to add a keyframe for this one, and as you see, a keyframe is added here in frame 10. And I want to animate it or do a whole circle, do a round circle in 20 frames. And by doing it, just after 20 frames, it will be on 30th frame. In frame 30, come here in offset bar and write 100. If you write 100, 100 is a whole circle for this one, and then click here to add a keyframe for that. And if you see here, from frame 10 to frame 30, we have a whole and a round circle here. Look at this, that's really amazing. And for doing it repeatedly and forever, you should just press Shift E and select linear extrapolation here. And if you see, it's going to repeat the process forever and it won't stop. And that's really great tool for us to animate our character by using it. So now if we, with moving it, you can move body, you can rotate body whenever you want, because all of them are parented to our body. Then there is a problem here, and that is that this circle, it's not a walking path. We want to walk, not just following a circle. It's a normal circle. To walk, we should change it to this one. We should eliminate these part from our circle, and that's so easy for do. Select the circle and press tab to go to edit mode, and select these two vertices here, and from control point set handle type and select vector here. And if you see here, our handles are changed to vector, and select these two handles and press S to scale it a little bit, and G and Z to grab it in the Z axis. And now I wanna bring it to the surface. I want to snap it here. And if you wanted to do it more precisely, you can come here and enable snap and change it to vertex. I want to snap it to these vertices to be more precise. Then click here and GZ to limit it to Z axis. And if you come here, it will snap it to our vertices here, and that's so precise way to do it. So let's disable this snap button here and press tab to go to edit mode. And if you click play or space, and your animation will be started, and it's following this path. It's not a circle, it's more looks like a walk here, and that's so good and that's amazing for our walk. So let's copy these legs, because we have 4 legs here, not 1 leg to the other legs, because we have 4 legs here, and we want to copy them in the other sides too. Now for doing it, first of all, select all the stuff here, all our objects except the body, and press 7 to go to top orthographic view, and we're gonna duplicate it and turn it or rotate it here. And for doing it, you should change the pivot point to 3D cursor. Why? Because this is our center point and pivot point for rotating this leg and this stuff, and by rotating it from here, this is our center, and we should change the center to the 3D cursor and change it more precisely. And for doing it, press Shift D, and don't do anything, press R and Control to make it more precise. And when it's 90 degrees, just left click here, and if you press Shift R, it will repeat the previous action, the previous thing you did in Blender. And again, press Shift R to repeat it again, and don't panic again. It's so normal thing that you face here. Just click these empty objects here, and this one, press Alt G to reset their locations, and that's fixed. And also press these circles and come to object, then clear and rotation, and that's be fine. And if you play your animation here, you have a soft animation, and it's really good and powerful animation. The riggings work very well too. But there's a problem here, and that's it. All of the legs, the 4 legs here, all of them are moving in the same time. or they are jumping at the same time, and we want to fix it. And fixing it, it's so easy. Just click here, this empty object for front leg and this empty object for back leg, and here in timelines press A to select all of the keyframes here, and then press G to move them 10 minutes, and that will fix our animation. And if you know, and as you see here, they are moving very good and better than before. So the animation of Vulkan is finished here, it's done here, but I want to add more noise here to our body. So let's come back to frame 1, and from here just split the viewport to 2 viewports here, and from this bar just select graph editor and select our body and press I to add a location and rotation keyframe here. And as you see here, we have 3 keyframes for our location X, Y, Z, and 3 for rotation. And what we're doing here is that by pressing N, we're bringing this menu, and from modifiers tab or here, we should add a noise modifier to our body. And as you see here, when you play the animation, it will be moving so fast, and we don't want it. For fixing it, just let's scale up the scale, and something like for 15 or 14 it's okay for us. And let's change the X ranks to, and I think something like 5.5 is great for us. And also let's change the phase to something another one. Phase, change these parts here, look at here, pay attention to this part. This is our phase, we should change it a little bit. Then from here, from this part, just copy this modifier and come to Y location and paste it in Y2. And if you see it from the top view, it's moving diagonally. It's because we have the same phases for X and Y locations. For fixing it, just change the phase of Y and it will be face the animation. And again, come to Z location and paste it here too. And for Z location, I think let's bring it a little lower, that's good. And also let's do it for rotation too. Rotation X, I wanna change it a little bit and add another phase. Let's click here and click a random number here for our phase. And also let's increase the strings a little bit, or 0.5 is good for this one too. And again, copy this one and from Y rotation paste it here and type a random number for this one too. And also for Z, type another random one, and that's great. So it's gonna our creature here, and it so looks like a living creature that is walking and moving its body at the same time, and it's really powerful. And also, if you notice, we can change the rotation by using these Bezier circles, and look at here, by pressing R and Z, we can move the direction of Vulkan path in this by changing these circles, Bezier circles. And for making it more precise, let's add another empty object. Press Shift A. From empty, let's add empty sphere here, and right click here and empty draw size and increase it a little bit. Select one of them, and from constraints of the object constraints here, select copy rotation here, and by using eyedropper tools for target object, select these sphere empty object. And if you notice that if we select this empty object and press R and change it in Z direction, it will influence or affect our Bezier circle, and that's so good. We have more control and it's easy to control our body. So let's add this copy rotation constraint to the other legs too, and for doing it, let's select all of them and make sure to select the first one at the last. And from object bar or object menu here and constraints, select copy constraints to selected objects. And now if you notice, as we change it, as we rotate this empty sphere here, it will influence all of our legs, and it's so powerful for us. Then let's add another modifier to our body, and let's again split the viewport to 2, and from here graph editor, select the body, and in Z location press N to bring up this menu here, and in modifiers let's add a built-in function modifier. And if you see here, it's so crazy and we don't want it to. Just for fixing it, just click on additive here, and it will fix the movement here, fix the animation here. And its number is so high, for fixing it we're going to lower it a little bit. Phase multiplier, it should be a little lower, for example 0.5 is good I think, and the amplitude is a little low. I want to make it something like 0.8 or 0.5. 0.4 is good for us, and that's amazing. Did you see the change here? It's so looking like a living creature than before. Now let's close this panel too. Just right click and join areas, and we have just one panel, one viewport here. And let's add another empty cube here. Shift A from empty and cube, and right click on it and empty draw size. Let's make it bigger. So let's choose the busier circles here, and also our body and this empty sphere. And if you click G to grab it, all of the objects are moving. Now at the last object, select this empty cube here, and by pressing Ctrl P, an object will parent them to this empty object, and it will help us a lot to animate it, to move it. So let's make a walk here, and in frame, for example from frame 20, let's add a keyframe to that and press I and location, and we want to move it, for example up to frame 100. Then in frame 100 or 100, just press G and X to move it in X axis, and press and left click here, and again press I location. And now if you come back to frame 20, it's walking, and it's so strong, it's so good for our walking, and it's brilliant. And you can control the speed here. If you see that it's a little slow, you can just click one of these keyframes, and let's make it near a little bit, and it will be a little faster. I think something around 85, or yes, 85 is good for us. And the animation is done here, it's finished. We finished the walking animation of our spider. And if you like this video, just click on like button and subscribe my channel, and also click on the notification bell in the case of not missing any new videos. In the next video we're going to cover both texturing this creature and lighting the scene, so see you then.